Hello everyone, welcome back to Base Damage. Just want to take a quick moment to remind you that we are affiliates with Japanime Games. They offer a wide variety of board games and card games, including their own original TCG, that being Oshi Push, featuring a variety of different VTubers from Face Connect as well as some other upcoming ones very soon. Please use my affiliate link down below whether you want to try out a new board game or even pre-order new Oshi Push sets coming up very soon. Link will be in the description. Back to the video. Alright, so today we are going to be taking a look at Oshi no Ko Volume 2, dropping literally at the end of this week. I totally didn't forget to record this until the last possible second. Smile. I honestly, I was so focused on like Eminence and Shadow and whatnot coming out that I legitimately forgot about this set, and I'm so sorry to the Oshi no Ko fans. But we're going to be taking a look at this, and I do not remember a whole bunch of Volume 1. The thing that I remember the most on my mind was buff muscle dude with the chicken head. I don't remember what even the context of that was. But it's a card. That's the thing I remember the most from Volume 1, if that tells you anything. So there was a couple other little utility cards I do remember because I was going to mess around with like the 8 standby variant, but I decided to give up that deck altogether. But because of that, I will be looking at Volume 2 just as a self-contained set. I don't remember all the combos from Volume 1. Other than there was a level 3 that I got hit by at Regionals one time, and that was it. So I'm going to be judging this from my first impressions based on a standalone set. Maybe I'll see a card and be like, oh, that's not as impressive, but paired with another card from Volume 1, it probably becomes the most broken thing since Gura, you know? So I don't know those. I don't remember those. So just as I'm going through this, please keep that in mind. But if you want to share some information for the particular sets or whatever, do please feel to comment those down below. And like I said, inform other people because I clearly cannot right now. So let's jump into it. For anyone who's never seen one of my first impressions videos, I do like to at least highlight all the double rares in each individual color, and then I'll just kind of glance through and see what else catches my eye. So let's start off with the 0/0 double rare Kana in yellow. We have 3. We have 3 double rares for yellow. All right. So 002K Kana. During your turn, if all of your characters are Showbiz, this gets 1500 power and the following ability. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, salvage back a Showbiz character, add it to hand, and then discard 1 card. So a little bit of filtering there. Very nice. At the start of your opponent's attack phase, if there is a character in the slot across from this, you may move this to an empty front row slot, so it can run away. Awesome. Moving on to the level 1, we have a climax combo right off the bat. Is the 1/0 Mimcho double rare. She's a 1/0/45. During your turn, if you have 2 or more other Showbiz characters, she gains 2k, becomes a 65. So we have experience right off the bat. I believe there was experience stuff in the first set. When this attacks, if you have the choice climax in your climax area, and the experience level is 2 or more. Okay, so that's really easy to get. Typically, I don't care for a lot of experience-based effects, but this only being 2 is really easy to pull off. That's totally fine. So, and it's going to be off of a choice, so that means she's going to be a minimum of a 1/0/75. 2 or more. You can pay the cost, which is just discard 1 card. If you do, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 3 Showbiz characters. Amongst them, add it to your hand. Send the rest to waiting room. Okay, so it's literally Eatski from, oh my goodness, from Quintessential Quintuplets. I know there's other cards with this very similar profile from, like, say, Bocchi the Rock or whatever. But this, I see this effect, and I always think Eatski from Quince. It's just what's baked into my head. So that's actually really good because that is very strong. You could potentially discard 1 card and then add 3 cards to hand. You could essentially get a +2. That is actually really strong. Obviously, if you reveal a bunch of climaxes, it's not going to go to hand. And also, it doesn't say anything about events. I remember the Eatski said it, like one particular event, if you revealed that, could go to hand. But this doesn't work with any events whatsoever, not even particular named ones. So, interesting thing there. Moving on to the 3/2 Ruby. It's a 10k, placed on stage, draw 2, pitch 1. Then, when this attacks, if you have the choice trigger, so it should be 11, and you have experience of 6 or more and at least 1 other Showbiz character, you can discard 2 cards. If you do, deal 2 damage to your opponent, and if that damage is canceled, deal 2 damage to your opponent. So, just trying to really burn through as much as possible, and then her damage as well. So that's really cool. And I do see all the different SPs and whatnot floating above my head. I will try to highlight those at the end of the video when I have finished going through all the cards. So, moving on. Okay, so now we're in the rares and lowers. I'm just going to glance through and see what we got here. This one already is kind of interesting, even though I don't care for the experience-based effects based off of like level stuff. This is always funny to see when you see for every particular showbiz character in your level, this gets +1 level and 2k power. And she's not going to get really, well, if you have another showbiz, she becomes a 3k. Okay, so she's a 3k off the bat. So then when you hit level 1, she's a level 1 5k. When you hit level 2, she's a level 2 7k. And when at level 3, she's a level 3 9,000 power level 0. Well, no, because she does count as level 3. So she won't get hit by reversals or whatever. This is still interesting when this particular thing happens, so I do think that's funny. So neat little level 0 that can get big. Let's see. Placed on stage from hand. If you experience 2 or more, discard a showbiz, add a cost 0 or lower character from waiting room. Oh, no, not add to hand, you summon it. Okay, so that could set up for your level 1 to summon back the other level 1 Memcho or something. So this is actually really good for that. Okay. We have a drop search. No, it's not even a drop search. Oh, sorry, I misread that. So it's a global 5 and then a pay 1, pitch 1, rest this to search. Okay, that's interesting. Very nice. Level 1 Memcho combo. The sum of the levels is 2 or more. This gets 2k. And a level 2 Slayer. So she gains an additional 6k if she's attacking a level 2. So she'll be a 12k. Oh, sorry. I thought it was another climax. Sorry, for some reason down here, I thought it was another climax combo. I don't know why I thought that. But we do have this. Like I said, I don't care for experience, but when you have effects like this that let you fix your experience, this is good. Oh, I don't know. I did not mean to do that. Cade accidentally clicking things he shouldn't. Anyway. Placed on stage, you can rest one of your other showbiz characters to choose a card from your level zone and 1 card in your waiting room and swap them. So as long as you do have you can fix your level to adjust what experience you need at what time. As long as you have those cards, it's okay. So then we have a 1045 Ruby. When a climax with the choice trigger is placed in your climax area, this gets 500 power when it attacks. If it's a level 1 or higher, send a stock. Okay, just a little bit extra stock production, and obviously it gets a little bit bigger. So it becomes like a 1065. Okay. For early play, if your opponent has a level 3 or higher character, this gets minus a level in hand. On play, you can pitch 1 to heal the top card of clock to stock. If you have experience 6 or more, she gets huge, and your opponent can't play events or backups from hand. Nice. Well, just during her battle, but still. All right. This is interesting. If you have experience 3 or more, you can tap her to give a character 25. So, okay, that's honestly some major buffing there. Okay. We got a spammable brainstorm for searching, and then you discard afterwards. Very nice. And front row center slot gets 15. That's actually, wow, that's actually, what is with Oshi no Ko with all these massive buffs? Holy crap. But then you're like really weak defensively, so it's kind of whatever. Let's see. On play, you can pitch a card to search for a particular level 1 cost event. So we'll have to keep an eye on that at number 22. We'll have to keep an eye on that. Oh, and there's a effect when a climax gets placed, you can pay 1 to also salvage back the event. Okay, so this event's going to be interesting. This is always fun. If a climax with a choice trigger is in your climax area, this card in any area gains choice trigger. So you can run a 12 choice deck with this. So that's actually interesting. When a climax with a choice trigger is placed in your climax area, choose one of your opponent's front row characters and get its negative 2k. Okay, so in addition to all the buffs like they're giving in just yellow, you're also able to go, cool, you also lose 2k. Like, okay, interesting. 1/1 Kana can become a 7k. It's basically vanilla stats if you have experience too, but it pays for itself basically. Okay. Battle opponent becomes reversed. Pay 1, pitch 1, send the bottom 4 of your opponent's deck to the waiting room. Okay, so it has what people refer to as the icy tail effect, making your opponent mill cards from the bottom of their deck and then burning them depending on how many climaxes are sent by the effect. Okay. Interesting. To put that on a level 2 is actually kind of interesting there. Okay. We have a 3-2 Mimcho. Okay, an actual climax combo this time, because that was weird. Oh, also, this is kind of interesting too. The experience being, which you're with experience, you're going to put like extra level 3s in the level anyway. So to see this effect as well, where it's like, oh, if you have a copy of this particular card in your level that you're already going to be putting for experience, it also gives this one a -1 level in hand. So you're fulfilling a lot of experience conditions, and you're also able to early play, which is really nice. For each of your other back row showbiz, this gains 15, so plus 3k with 2 back row is an 11. When the choice climax is placed in your comics area, so that makes her a 12k. And this is in your front row. Choose a showbiz character, waiting room, add it to hand, and until the end of your opponent's next turn, she gets the -2 soul across from her. Okay, that's not horrible. It's obviously not the best thing, but I mean, it's also replacing a card in hand. I do like the fact that it's giving you something. Like, you're going to early play this. You're going to be able to salvage stuff back, which is going to set up for other combos maybe, or other stuff you have planned. And then still having the negative soul is interesting. The negative soul thing is also interesting in the year of our Lord 2026 because of the double loss stuff that's in regionals. So, and I've been proven wrong that people will still run the -2 soul combos and everything, like say from Hololive with the Sora that does it, because you can get her out like really stupid early, get 3 of her out very easily, and then just like, okay, cool, my opponent just has nothing but negative soul. Oh, look, I triggered a gold bar, do it again next turn. This is on a choice, so you're not going to have that recursion a whole bunch. You're not going to have the gold bar thing of, oh, keep adding to hand over and over. So that is kind of interesting. So one, it's on a choice, which is a weird trigger to put this on. But then also the fact of double loss, people may just not play it because of the whole negative soul thing and, you know, stalling and shit like that. I don't know. Could be interesting, but maybe people will run it anyway and prove me wrong. I'm happy to be proven wrong in that regard. So go Mimcho. Let's see. Gets big. Lets you top check and add a card, and then discard, so you filter a little bit. When a particular choice is placed in your comics area of 2 or more other showbiz characters, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a showbiz character, add it to hand, or an event, add it to hand. When you trigger a climax with a choice trigger, you can draw a card. You pay 1 to draw a card. So that would pay out the choice trigger, which is very nice. And in that regard, you could specifically, when you trigger it, you're technically, if you do it a certain way, you don't lose stock. Because choice, one of the options is you either add a character with a crit trigger from waiting room, you either add it to your hand or you put it into your stock. So if you purposely put 1 card into your stock, you can still pay, you don't go negative on stock from doing this, then you can still pay 1 and you pay out the climax, you still gain the stock from the attack, and then you draw a card anyway. It just depends on it depends on the situation, because if you have a particular combo that you want to grab or a particular card that you want to grab, that's cool, but if you're sitting comfy on hand size, then you can freely just go, cool, extra stock, and then pay out the choice. So, very nice there. Pay 1, pitch 1, top check equal to the number of your opponent's characters, and add any card amongst them to hand. Interesting. On death, pay 2, salvage back, and she can get big for a turn. 2k assist to level 3 or higher characters. Ooh, this is actually kind of big. Experience 3, rest is an act. Rest this if you have experience 3 or more. Choose a showbiz character and it gets 1,000 power. And the following ability that during this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events from hand. Now, they can still play normal backups, but if they have a particular event, that a rest counter event, or something that reduces their soul, or something that negates an attack, or something of that negates damage in general, that could be very interesting to prevent your opponent from being able to use those counters in that regard. Like I said, you can still use a normal backup, excuse me, but then they still got an extra 1,000 power they got to deal with, so it's kind of whatever. Then we have, okay, so this is the 1/1 event that was mentioned earlier. This is actually kind of interesting. It's a 1/1 event. You send this to memory when you play it. To reveal the top card of your deck if it's a showbiz character or an event, add it to hand. Very nice. During your turn, if this is in memory, all of your characters with Ruby, Kana, or Mimcho get 500 power. Now, are we going to see this across every single color, is my question. To kind of focus on every single one of the characters? I don't know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. We got all the cute little art from the different climaxes and everything. We have nothing but choice. It's just 4 different choice triggers. You are spoiled for choice. Haha. Jokes. Anyway. All right, so moving on to the reds, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 double rares in red. All right. So the first one is a 00500I. When this is reversed, if the battle opponent is level 0 or lower, reverse that character. When this is sent from stage to waiting room, you can discard a card, look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck, choose up to 1 level 1 or higher card amongst them, add it to your hand, send the rest to waiting room. Then if you have 2 or less memory, choose up to 1 copy of this card in your waiting room so it can send itself, and then send it to memory. So already we've shifted from experience-based effects to memory-based effects. So that already is going to be quite telling of the color scheme for this. Interesting. So already we're going to have to keep an eye out for other memory-based effects. So we have a 1045 Kana. During your turn, if you have 3 or more other showbiz characters, quite more there than typical. This gets 2,500 power, so she'll be a 7k off rip. Interesting. When this attacks, if you have the door climax in play, and you have 3 or more other showbiz characters, which is obviously going to fulfill her first effect, so she's going to be sitting at an 8k. Look at up to 4 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 1 showbiz character from among them. Show your opponent at it in hand. Send the rest to waiting room. If you chose a level 2 or higher character, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck and put them back on top in any order. That's interesting because you could purposely grab level 2 or especially your level 3 combos or anything of that nature, and then purposely choose what your triggers are going to be. So that's actually kind of major for that. That's people may not think that I look at the top 3 and put them back in any order. A normal player will probably look at that and be like, oh, that's a neat little effect. A regular experienced player is like, oh, that opens up options. There's a ton of different scenarios that could be very, very useful in. The most useful, obviously, knowing what you're going to hit is always really good. But the biggest thing for this, and I'm not kidding, is if you do this for every single copy of her going down the line, you could push a particular climax or something way farther back. Like especially like, oh, on the last one, let me order these in a certain way that maybe the second card on the top of my deck, after all this is said and done, is going to be a climax. And I know for a fact the first attack on my opponent's next turn should get canceled. So, because there's a level 3 there's a level 3 effect across multiple sets, but it originated in Bang Dream, was a particular level 3 mocha that lets you do something very, very similar. So it's like, okay, cool, I know the top card of my deck is supposed to be a climax, or the second card is supposed to be a climax, and you can kind of ensure that you're going to get a cancel on probably the first attack, which is really, really good. So this opens up a lot of avenues. I like this level 1 Kana. You get a big thumbs up, Bushi, for this one. All right, then we have a 2/2 Ruby double rare. All right, so immediately this is kind of funky, where because of the art, like showing all the bunnies and shit down here, they put the effect at the top of the card. That just doesn't happen that much. I can maybe think of one other random card that has ever done that, and so it's really weird to see. But it's a 2/2 7k. If you have 2 or more showbiz characters in your memory, this gets the following 2 abilities. First, during your turn, this gets 5k power and character encore, so it should be a 12. When this card's level 2 or higher, battle opponent is reversed. You can pay 1 to salvage back a character. That's really strong. Moving on to the 3/2 Aqua and Ruby, 85 power. If you have 4 or more showbiz characters, this gets minus a level in hand. Very easy early play condition. 2 or more other showbiz characters, this gets 1500 power and the following ability. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, you may return this to hand. And on play, you heal 1. That's actually very powerful. Being able to just, like, which I've seen similar effects that, like, oh, let me just bounce this back if it gets frontaled or something. This going, cool, I'm going to summon, I'm going to heal, I'm going to swing, do my damage and everything, get the fuck out, you don't care, and then just play it again next turn. Assuming you're even still at level 2 at that point, you just can keep early play heal, early play heal, early play heal, like over and over, which is funny to me. Very nice. All right, so we're out of the particular double rares, moving on to the rares. Already off the bat, I saw this said climax combo, but I do like to see these particular effects that's like a brainstorm that you have to mill specific climaxes. And one, I realize some people are like, oh, this locks you into a particular type of deck, which is whatever. But, you know, the trade-offs are typically very, very good. For one, it's only a pay 1, rest this, mill 5 instead of your typical 4. So you do get to try to dig a little bit deeper. You hit a particular door, a particular pants. A door pants deck is also going to be strong. And then you get to salvage a character for each one of those. So very nice there. And then start of your other front row gets at the start of your opponent's draw phase. You can top check if it's level 2 or higher. Return this to hand. Which this is interesting too. Once again, using say the level 1 Kana. Oh, let me explicitly put a level if I don't see a climax or something in those top 3 that I'm checking. Let me instead make it so I know it's a level 2 or higher card. And then at the beginning of your opponent's draw phase, you can specifically bounce back that level 1 Kana and use it again the next turn. So once again, really powerful like combo there, being able to, like, I like the synergy. It's really cool there. Like I said, this particular, like, you get cards, you still get to dig, you still get to get advantage off of it for basically no cost. But being able to look at the top 3 and order them how you want is really huge. Like that already, we haven't even gotten halfway through this set. We are a third of the way through this set, and I am already very impressed. Honestly, from that one effect. I probably shouldn't be that hyped for it, but I'm just saying, like, that's really, really strong. All right, so now we're going to get to the point of there's a lot of standby effects that I remember in the first set that were just really, really funny to mess with anyway. Particular Ruby, on play, discard a showbiz, draw a card, so you can pitch your particular standby targets, but this also has a standby combo. When the standby gets played, 2 different ones. Standby 62 or 63. That's interesting. Return this to hand and choose one of your characters. Until the end of your opponent's next turn, it gets 1,000 power and character encore. Really nice. You don't get any advantage off of it, but you always like to have any characters in a standby deck that have the bounce back effect to hand, because you can bounce it back first, give the buffs or do the combos or whatever else you're doing, and then summon something into that spot off the standby. Okay. Place on stage of hand, reveal the top card of his showbiz. This gets a buff. Act, pay 1, sack this, look it up to 4, add a showbiz to hand. Very nice for trying to dig through and trying to maybe put some more targets into the waiting room for standby. I literally I said waiting room and my brain's like graveyard. And I'm like, what? Anyway. Place on stage from hand. You can pay 1, put a showbiz character from waiting room on the bottom of your clock. Ooh, here we go. Look at 2 cards from the top of your deck. Choose up to 2 showbiz. Ooh, this is on play instead of on death. Okay, so there's very similar level 0s that have this kind of a profile. And 9 times out of 10, they're on death characters, not on play. Interesting. I do like that. Okay. Act, discard a card, sack this to salvage back a... Oh, no, not salvage. Sorry, it's not salvage. Choose one of your opponent's characters and move it to an opponent's empty slot. Okay, so you get to move your opponent's characters around if they have empty slots. That can always be interesting, too. Oh, look, they purposely rammed something cool. I'm going to move your Brainstormer up, and now I can just attack your Brainstormer. Even though I don't have to reverse for my combos, you now lost your Brainstormer, so that's kind of funny. 1-0, I pay 1, pitch 1, send this to memory. When this is reversed, look it up to 2, choose a card amongst them, add it to hand, send the rest to waiting room. Once again, just putting another card into memory for your stuff. On attack, if you two one of the showbiz, it gets 4K. Okay. A 1/1 Aqua Ruby. Okay. If you have a card in memory, this gets 500 power and the following ability. So it becomes a 5K during your turn. It becomes a 75 as a character encore. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, if you have one of 2 particular standbys in your comics area, choose 1 character in your waiting room, add it to hand. It's interesting to see this work off of all of the different standbys instead of just one particular one. So that's always interesting. Let's see. Ooh, this is something that combos with the trial deck stuff. Interesting. It's a particular 2/1. Let's see. When a particular Climax, I don't remember what this is placed from the trial deck. And you have 4 or more other showbiz characters. Choose a showbiz character waiting room, add it to hand. Choose one of your characters until the end of your opponent's next turn. It gains 2k power. So I don't remember if maybe it says it combos with the 3/2 Once again, I don't know what the climax of that is. Probably a salvage. I'm just going to guess there. Just because this is red, I'm assuming it's probably salvage. If it's an on reverse combo, being able to give it an extra 2k is really, really strong. So that's very nice. So, oh, also when this attacks, you can give a buff. Interesting. That's a very, very big buff. Let's see, a 3/2 memory assist. If you have 2 or more showbiz characters in memory, all your showbiz characters get plus 2k. That's huge. Place on stage from hand, send a character from stage to waiting room. If you do choose a climax from waiting room, add it to hand. Okay, cool. Being able to just get whatever you need off of that. Let me sack this other thing and just go ahead and get my stuff. Start your comics phase, 2 or more other showbiz. Give a character 1,000. Brainstorm, pay 1 rest, this mill 4 for each. Draw 2, pitch 1. Very nice. When this attacks, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a showbiz character, add it to hand, discard a card. Pay 1, pitch 1 on death. And search your deck for a showbiz character. So, this is always funny to see this ever since like Konosuba. This gains power equal to the level of the character across from it times 2,000. So if it's fighting a level 1, it gains an extra 2k. It doesn't get as big as the darkness would normally get, because that darkness usually gets like really, really big. But this still can get bigger, and it's kind of funny because of that. So, when this attacks, if you have 2 or more other showbiz characters, this gets an additional 2k. So, it could be fairly big. So, if you're attacking a level 3, you would get 6k, you would get 8k. It would be a 10,000. This can get up to 10,000, which is just hilarious to me. So, as a level 0, doing that is just really funny. Obviously, you probably need something a little bit more to be able to get over, like, whatever they have, it's whatever. 1/0, if you have a card in memory, this is a 6k constant. I do like that. When your other showbiz character is frontaled, you can sack this to give a character, or to give that character 15. All of your other showbiz characters get 1,000. Act, you can sack this to summon a particular red Kana, which is that one. And then you can also rest this to give a character a buff. So the Kana that it summons, if this is in your front row center slot for each of your other showbiz characters, this gets 1,000 and it has character encore. Kind of whatever to me, but eh. Let's see. Bikomachi Ai. So 1/1, 3k, Ruby. Act, rest this, look at the 2 cards. If you're going to choose a Bikomachi winner, send it to memory. So it lets you reorder stuff and then send particular cards to memory. Very nice. Let's see. 2/1 Ruby. Okay. It's a 2,500 backup, and you can pay 1 additional stock to basically grab it back. 2/1 Taiki. This is in your front row center slot. Each of your other showbiz characters get 15. Actually, it's not horrible. It's only like a 75 off that, so you want some other buffs, but still. Oh, true. No. It's not 75. Because it says for each of your other showbiz characters, it doesn't count itself. So it's still only a 6k. So, bleh. Never mind. That went down very fast. When this is placed on stage from hand, look at it 4, add a climax amongst them to hand, and then discard a card, okay? 3/2 Aqua, placed on stage, perform the following effect. You get to level down one of your opponent's characters, really strong. When this attacks, give a character a buff. 3/2 9/5. If you have 2 or more copies of this in your waiting room, this gets minus a level in a hand, kind of like the Crucian Fetus from ReZero. 2 or more other showbiz characters, this gets 1,500 power and character encore. Place on stage from hand, discard a card. If you do, heal 1. Then choose up to 1 copy of this in your waiting room and add it to hand. That's interesting, because if you have like 3 copies in waiting room, you could summon this, you could early play this, grab another copy, and then still be able to summon that one as well early play, because you would still have the 2 copies of it in waiting room. Very interesting. That actually could be an interesting little setup there. 3/2 Kana. This ability can only be activated once per turn. During turns is played on stage from hand. At the end of this card's attack, pay 2, pitch 1, sack another showbiz if you have a full field and stand this. And it starts off as an 11. Interesting. Okay, just a restander with a very interesting effect. But it's only the turn that he gets played. That's whatever. Taiki, showbiz actor. For each of other showbiz characters gets 1,000. Place on stage from hand. Pay 1, send a showbiz from stage to waiting room. Search your deck for a cost 0 or lower, 1 cost 0 showbiz character. Place it on stage. So you could summon the Kanas. Interesting. You can sack another showbiz character to put this in the back row. That's interesting. Oh, look, you somehow played 2 on reverse combos. Cool, let me sack one of my characters so that you can't reverse that and get any advantage. And let me move her to the back so you now can't get any advantage. That's actually really funny. So that could really fuck somebody up if they have on reverse combos. Your whole day is ruined from that. It's not like one singular runner that's like, oh, I'm just going to do this and then, I move one character or something. No, I'm going to keep you from reversing 2 characters. Waste the stage from hand, the top card of your deck, put it into waiting room. Top of deck or into waiting room. When a comics gets played, you can bounce this back to give a character 2k. Kind of whatever, but let's get another bounce back effect for the standby stuff. On play, pay 1, pitch 1, salvage back a showbiz, give a character 1,000. When a comics gets placed in your opponent's comics area, you may send this to stock. I haven't seen this effect in a hot minute, and this used to be really, really strong. So, once again, the idea of like, oh, deny your opponent on reverse combo. As soon as they go to play the climax, you're like, cool, zoop to stock. Oh, you can't reverse anything now in that particular lane. If you have multiples, it's like, cool, yes, please give me the stock. So if your opponent's like, I have to try my combos anyway, then you just plus stock, which is insane. So vanilla melt. Then we have, this was so interesting with like the cover art and everything of the box. I remember seeing this like demon-esque looking characters, and every single time I saw it, I didn't think Oshinoko. For some reason, my brain was like, why is Demon Slayer in Weiss? It's kind of funny there. I have a 1/0 melts, it's a 3k. When the door is placed, if you have 4 or more other showbiz characters, this until the end of your opponent's next turn, this gains the following ability where it cannot become reversed. That's it. Okay, so I mean, it's kind of like the Haycost Bales from Hololive. You basically just use it so you constantly have a body to attack with, but that was also, once again, on a gold bar. On a door, you're not going to be able to guarantee that you can get it multiple turns in a row. Whereas with the Bay combo, you're like, cool, eventually, I trigger a gold bar, I do it again. I do it again, type deal. So, kind of funky. And then on attack, this gets 1,000 times the number of your opponent's characters. That's still strong if they have a full field. That gives him a 5,000 buff with the door, makes him a 9,000. And then he just can't be reversed. So the fact that he can still get over stuff is kind of cool. So, but once again, being on a door instead of being on a bar is not as efficient. Attacks, sack another, reveal top card of deck if it's a showbiz, add to hand. When the battle opponent becomes reversed, if it's a level, reveal top card of deck if it's a level 1 or higher, you may return this to your hand. Not horrible, but not the greatest thing in the world. When this is placed on stage from your hand, if you have less stock than your opponent, you may put the top card of your deck into stock. So you could always purposely play this last and then it pays for itself. When your other... This is actually... Okay, this can get huge. When your other showbiz character attacks, this gets X power equals the number of your other showbiz characters times 1,000. This pops for every other attack. So minimum, assuming they don't have some kind of stupid restand effect, this can gain the buff twice. So if you have a full field, it will gain 8,000 total, because it will get 4,000 from each instance of another character attacking. So this will get really big. This is going to become a 14,500 barring any other effects. This is going to guaranteed kill something. So that's hilarious. When the rolled up book becomes a really efficient weapon and you just whack, bonk, go to horny jail. So we have a 1/0 event. Okay, so we don't have the same thing I was thinking before where it has like an effect for each of the particular characters. We have a 1-0 mill 2. Choose it to... Okay, so people are going to refer to this as, I believe this is the cigarettes effect. There's a particular card from Fate that does something similar. You mill 2, and then you get to salvage back a character equal to the level of the cards that were milled by the effect. So, really cool. So we have the 1 door, the 2 standby, 1 of each of the siblings here, and 1 more door. Okay, that's actually a really sick art right there. That's actually really cool for the triple rare. All right, into the blue, and I honestly think that's the last color. I don't think there's any green in this whatsoever. So, and I do remember seeing on the brainstorm there was a particular pants of climax that we should be looking out for. I'm assuming it's a 3-2 Akane or something. We have 1, 2, 3. Speaking of, we have 3 double rares in blue. So we have a 0015 Aqua. During your turn, he gets 1,000 power. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can pay 1, put a Showbiz character from Waiting Room on the bottom of your clock. If you do search your deck for a level 1 or lower character, add it to hand, shuffle your deck afterwards. So you specifically grab like the level 1 Kanas. This is what people call a Ricky. Very, very good Ricky, because you're not damaging from the top of the deck. You're choosing exactly what your damage is going to be. That's really, really strong. So, and to be able to obviously get your Kana combos and then go, cool, I go eat ski effect and just kick ass. Especially because in the red that, or I'm sorry, not in the red, in the, oh my goodness, I can't think of it. You needed the Memcho. I said the Kana. You could still grab the Kana, but if you wanted to do the Memcho, you could also put a particular level 3 character into your clock so you can guaranteed get the experience that you need for that Memcho's experience or any of the other experience effects you want to do. So, very nice to have there. This is just really strong. We have a 104k Akane. When this attacks, if you have another Showbiz character, this gets 3k power, so she'll be a 7. When your other Showbiz character is frontal attacked, pay 1, send this, return that character to hand. This is really weird to put on a double rare. I typically would see this on like a rare or an uncommon. Like, I feel this slot could have been for a much better card effect for a double rare. So this is probably gonna be like the cheapest fucking double rare in existence here. Anyway, moving on to the last double rare is a 329k. For each of your other Showbiz characters, this gets 500 power. So with full field, she's gonna be an 11. On attack, if you had the pants, so she'll be a 12k. And you have 5 or less hand. Pay 1, pitch 1. If you do, perform the following effect 3 times. Send the bottom card of your opponent's deck to the waiting room. If that card is a level 0 or lower, deal 1 damage to your opponent, then heal up to 1. Hello? Oh my goodness, California players in shambles. Okay. The reason I make a joke about that is there are some people love running like 25 level 0s. And this just hurts. Okay, so if the card is level 0 or lower, I'm assuming that counts climaxes as level 0s, right? It doesn't say level 0 or lower character here, unless that may also be a translation thing as well. Because typically it will say, like in a parentheses or something up here, climaxes are regarded as level 0. That'll be something interesting to look at. And I think that may be the case. It looks like on here, that particular wording is a little bit lighter. So maybe climaxes are also regarded as level 0 for this effect, which is honestly crazy. So, oh, look, you're running 25 level 0s and then 8 climaxes. Oh, cool. I'm just going to mill all of those and just go, cool, burn 1, heal 1, burn 1, heal 1, burn 1, heal 1. That's crazy. If that goes off, that's amazing. I want to see if there's some other cards maybe that forcibly stack the bottom of your opponent's deck or something. And go, oh, let me look at the top card of your deck. Oh, I see it's a level 0. Put it on the bottom. Or, oh, I see it's a climax. Put it on the bottom. If they have some other effects like that in Oshinoko, that would make this very powerful. And this is just really funny to me. So, 2 claps. Really, really neat there. So I'm assuming this is what's supposed to meant to combo with the Kana. You're supposed to run both of those. Anyway. All right, so that's it for the double rares. We're just going to finish up the rares here in blue. On attack, reveal the top card of your deck if it's a showbiz. Choose one of your opponent's front row level 0 lower characters and send it to waiting room. So you just auto kill something. That's funny. Especially if it's something that needs to be reversed for like an effect or something. You just be like, nope, it dies. Done. GG. Oh, this is honestly, I forgot. I didn't even read this first effect. Place the stage from hand, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a showbiz character, choose an opponent's character. It gets -1 level. Cool. Let me purposely make your level 1 is now a level 0. Swing with this first. I know for a fact it's a showbiz character. I also just immediately kill that character, which is just insane to me. So that's funny. That's a really funny rare. Place the stage from hand. I haven't seen a climax swapper this entire thing. I just realized that. I have not seen a climax swapper this whole time. Place on stage, mill 3. You can. Act, discard a card, sack this to salvage back a showbiz character. Act, discard a card, sack this, choose a showbiz character in your hand whose level is equal or lower than your level, and place it on stage in this card's former slot. So this could be very interesting to just summon those like level 3 Akanes for like free. So we have a 1/0 Akane. It's a 35. At the start of your comics phase, choose one of your showbiz characters to get 15, so you can make itself a 5k. When the pants gets placed, so she could be a 6k. If you have another showbiz character, choose one of your other characters. It gets the following ability. When this card's battle opponent is reversed, search your deck for a showbiz character added to your hand. Okay, so you could give all of these 1,500 buffs to one specific character. Now, you do have to send it to other, so you can't tri-field this. You basically want to have like 2 of these, and then one particular level 1 that's going to be, or whatever, that you know is going to get over everything, give it bigger buffs, and then just go, cool. On reverse of the battle opponent, search 2. But once again, let me play against another Oshi no Codec. Oh no, you have these effects that get rid of your characters off the field. Damn, I can't do my on reverse. Oh well, Sag. So it's really funny for that. Then we have a 2/1 Aqua. Your other front row center slot gets 1,500 power times its level. Holy shit. That's, okay, so if it's a level 3, that could be plus 45. I had to do math there. At the start of your attack phase, choose one of your showbiz character, move to an empty front row. You may move it to your empty front row center slot. This is interesting. It's one thing to give something a buff, but if that middle center still somehow dies or gets removed, at the beginning of your attack phase, let me move something else into that slot, and now it's huge. That's actually funny. Climax combo. Discard one of 2 particular climaxes and rest this. Salvage back a showbiz character. This is an interesting card. This 2/1 Aqua is very, very nice. 2/1 Akane, place on stage. Pitch a card, look it up to 4. Also, this has removal. Act, sack this to return opponent's character back to hand. Very nice. Yeah, this is the cover art of the box. That every time I saw this, I'm like, what fucking Demon Slayer episode is this? Like, really? 3/2 10k, place on stage, look it up to X. It's the number of your showbiz. Add a card amongst them to hand. On attack, pay 2, pitch 2, burn 2. 3/2 Akane, place on stage from hand. Choose your draw card. Choose one of your other showbiz. It gets 2k. She's already at 10k, so it's whatever. When the pants is placed in your comics area, if you have 2 or more other showbiz characters, choose a particular 3/2 Akane. Oh, you sack this, summon that Akane. The number 67? Okay, so yeah, you just summon this off of that. Interesting. It gets 1,500 power and the following ability. During this card's battle, your opponent cannot play events from hand. Okay, once again, being able to just go, cool, no money counters for you, no rest counters for you. Lots of synergy for that is really nice. Yoriko, place on stage from hand. You can discard a showbiz to search for a particular Abiko. So 3/2 Abiko, number 84 coming up. If you're level 2 or higher, you can pay 1, pitch 2, rest this to summon the Abiko. Okay, that's really big. We got to keep an eye out for number 84. When you trigger a climax, discard a climax. If you do mill 2, then salvage back a character equal to the level of the card's milled. Act, rest this, choose a opponent's front row, and it gets some negative 1,000. You place on stage from hand. Sack another character, search your deck for a climax. Okay, so here's a climax swapper, but it swaps from the deck You still have to send a climax back from your hand to the deck. So, interesting. And then, placed on stage, sack a climax, salvage back a showbiz. When this is reversed, if the battle opponent is cost 0 or lower, you may send that character to the bottom of your opponent's deck. Damn. That's some hate. Place on stage from hand, discard a card, look it up, add a character back. Choose on attack if you got 4 or more other showbiz characters. Give a character 15. We have a 2K backup. This is interesting. When you use this card's backup, you can pay 1, pitch 1, choose one of your characters, return it to hand. Oh, look, let me do this, and then on the last card that you were about to attack, let me bounce it back to hand. That's actually kind of nuts. Let's see. Akane, Showbiz, when a climax is placed in your climax area, choose up to 2 of your characters until the end of your opponent's next turn. They get 2,500 power. When you trigger a climax, discard a climax, salvage back a character. 2,500 backup, and you can pay 1 and sack a Showbiz character to give one of your opponent's characters -1 soul. -1 soul is kind of like negligible at this point. Not Niji Sanji. 32. This is the Abiko that you wanted to summon. During the turn this is placed on stage from hand at the start of your attack phase. What? You may send all other characters from both players' stage to the waiting room. If you do, all players heal up to 3. And then when this is reversed, you may return this card to hand. Oh, this is so funny. I love effects like this that just nuke the board. I actually love effects like this. Okay, so you have... Where was it? You have this that searches for it. You just... A board wipe that just on demand can search for? And then you can still early play it. Okay. Oshinoko, that's hilarious. Oh, look. Oh, that's another thing. I just realized this. This doesn't target. Fuck you, Ainz. The level 3 Ainz that's like, oh, I'm hexproof. I can't be reversed. Get the hell out of here, Overlord. That's so funny. Just hacking that little package of the level 0 in this with Oshinoko is enough to threaten a fucking Overlord player. I think that's hilarious. I mean, obviously your own characters get nuked, but you don't care. Oh, look, you're like, if your opponent doesn't have any in clock, you also don't care if all players heal up to 3. That's whatever. If you really, really need to get rid of something, I would much rather do this and force my opponent into a rough spot. I think that's more funny than anything else. And then when it becomes reversed, you may return it to hand. It's weak. Oh yeah, your opponent's just gonna side this. They're not gonna frontal this ever. That's funny. Okay. Moving on. Sorry, I just thought that was great. Don't mean to harp on it for that long. GOA. You can trait wipe. You can get rid of one of your opponent character's trait. And then rest this, give a character 15, whatever. The removal of traits is actually kind of interesting. You can mess with some stuff that way. If your opponent has 1 or less characters in the front row, choose a cost 0 or character in your opponent's front row. Send it to the bottom of their deck. Interesting. And then at the start of your opponent's draw phase, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a level 0 or lower, you may return this to your hand. Aqua. When a comment gets placed, you can choose up to 2 characters that get 1,000 power. At the start of your Encore step, you can sack the particular pants. If you do, look at up to 6 cards from the top of your deck, choose a Showbiz character amongst them, add it to hand. That could really help you dig if you're like, oh, I know that I have like no other climaxes. Let me just go ahead and get all this free damage off the top of the deck. That's really strong. So, place on stage from hand gets a buff. Act, pitch a climax gets a buff, and the battle opponent becomes reverse draw cards. Kind of whatever. Sakuya, if this is a marker underneath, you get 75. Place on stage from hand. You use the particular vanilla melt from before, put it underneath as a marker. During your opponent's turn, all of your other Showbiz characters get 1,000. Very nice. And you just leave this in the backstage, and then arrest this, draw a card, pitch a card, filtering. Not horrible. Kind of 2 or more other Showbiz, this gets 2k, so constantly a 6k. Place it stage from hand, you can discard a card, choose a level 0 lower showbiz character, place it on stage in any slot. This could let you get a lot of different utility stuff. Let me just grab my brainstorm or whatever. Really cool there. Place the stage from hand if you have another showbiz character. This gets 2k. When this attacks, you can discard a card. If you do, return a showbiz back to hand. Very interesting. Which you could just pitch a climax for that. 2/1 aqua for each of the showbiz characters gets 1,000 pants. When the pants is placed, if this is in your front row, your opponent mills X. X is equal to the number of your showbiz characters times 4. So if you have 5 showbiz characters, you make them mill 20. That's funny. That's honestly really funny. Which obviously the thing for this is you're just trying to make it so your opponent probably refreshes or something off of it. That's just what you're trying to do with that. Level 3 Slayer, she gets huge. 2 or less climaxes winning room can be early played. When this is placed on stage from hand, you can send another showbiz. If you do draw 2 cards, not horrible. And then the event. Choose a showbiz character winning room, add it to hand, send this to memory. While this is in your memory at the start of your main phase, you can discard a climax to add this back to hand. You just keep recycling that over and over. Oh, okay. Pretty cool. And then showing off the particular, all the different pants. There's only pants in blue, which is kind of funny. There is a promo, I noticed that when I was just glancing through the cards before, a March-April shop tournament promo pack. So, so this is pecifically through like the regionals or whatever. Maybe it might be regionals, it might not be. But there is a Foley version. See, they put Foley instead of foil. But there is a foil SP of this promo. That thing's gonna be expensive. Anyway. We are going to show off the shiny cards now. So let's get nice and in there. All right. So obviously this is a PR plus for this, and it has a foil for that. That is actually really neat. Actually, I didn't even look at the effect. Makes it so shit can't move, and you can look it up top 3, grab an event. Okay, cool. All right, moving up, let's see what we have. Oh, even the double rare plus art's very, very nice. That's so cute. I would take her hand. All right, so yeah, off the cover art of the box, that actually looks really cool. The Aqua SP for that one looks really, really nice. So the Akane is an SR, and it's an SSP for that one. That's really sick. That looks good. Hey, I'm so happy to have actual signatures and not hot stamped. Just saying. Once again, the pointless level 1 double rare, but honestly, the SP for this looks really, really nice. Maybe it'll be cheap. Maybe I can get this for really cheap. Who knows? The SSP Aqua as well. Once again, all of the Aqua cards looking really freaking good. The triple rare plus for the Aqua as well, for the standby. I love the borderless for that. That looks sick. That looks really nice. That just looks like the symbols like popping out of her eye like a fucking thing from Code Geass. Triple rare plus. We go here with one of the SPs. Actually also looks very, very nice. I do like that. Very cute. Oh, the secret rare plus of the siblings like that. That looks sick. Also, like the vampire motif or the Halloween motif for that looks like awesome. So that's really cool. The SSP of the Ruby. Well, once again, it just looks so weird to see the text up here at the top of the card, but I understand why they did it for like the placement here. Like it makes sense. It's just funny. But still, SSP looks good. The SSP of the Kana, the level 1. Oh my goodness, this looks really nice. There's no like alternate art for them, other than the Secret Rare Plus obviously has alternate art. But the SSPs have not had alternate art, which is whatever, other than like, you know, being like full art and everything. The SSP here, it says full art. Really pretty, really nice. The Triple Rare Plus of the Mem Show. Every time I see her, all I can think of is like the fucking what is it called? The Carnival Phantasm from Fate. That's just all, like every time I see her, that's all I think of. But this in particular looks even more like it's out of Carnival Phantasm or something. This is what it makes me think of. It's great. Kimita. Alright, and then we have the Secret Rare Plus Mem Show. Also just looks really, really nice here. The SP looks really cutesy, obviously. Well, once again, just all I can hear is Carnival Phantasm. Alright, the Ruby SP, that looks just menacing. I feel you could put the JoJo effect of the little menacing kanji going across. I feel you could get the same effect with this. The SSP for the Mimcho just looks kind of weird that it's like that far out, like on the artwork. I feel you could be zoomed in a little bit more, but it's whatever. And the SP for the Kana. And that is going to be it. We are going to end... Where are we going? We're going to end on Carnival Phantasm. It's just too funny to not do so. Like I said, it just... What has been seen cannot be unseen. Let's be real. But, okay, so thank you very much for watching. I do greatly appreciate it. In terms of this particular set, as a standalone set, I think this is really funny. I think there's a lot of interesting combos in this set by itself. And obviously there are particular cards and combos that do work with just cards in this. There's ones like the Brainstormer that only works off the particular salvage and pants trigger climaxes. Those are in this set. It doesn't matter what you put in from Volume 1 for that. So there's plenty of stuff in here that you want to grab, even just for like stuff from this, even if you didn't get Volume 1. But Volume 1, like I said, probably still has some very good utility cards, some other good combos that you could do interesting little funny ha-has with. So I always encourage that. And once again, if anybody knows some really, really powerful combos that you can mix in with Volume 2, feel free to comment down below. But that's going to do it for me today. You get the certified thumbs up for this one. Or just imagine me doing the little Carnival Phantasm dance thing there. There you go. You get that the approval of Cade from this one. It's going to be interesting. Like I said, I completely forgot about this set. I think it's going to go under everybody else's radar as well. I'm happy to be proven wrong, but I'm fairly certain everyone else is just going to be like, yeah, this is a thing. Cool. Eminence and Shadow, please get here faster. Uma Musume, get here faster. It's just like, there's so much coming up that this just completely slipped my mind. I'm not even kidding. I'm recording this Wednesday before this drops. I completely forgot about this set, but I know people who are excited for this. Congratulations to you. I'm happy for you, but I won't be picking up this set in general, but I like the cards from it. It's really cool. Anyway, please do all the YouTuber shenanigans. Like, comment, subscribe. We will see y'all on the flip side. Remember to stay safe, and as always, stay based.